In a moment that stunned the world, the white smoke rose, and with it, a new chapter in church history began. But who is Pope Leo XIV, and what truths have yet to be told about his past, his mission, and his future? Today, we uncover the missing truths you need to know about the first American Pope, Pope Leo XIV. Let's begin by exploring the pivotal moments that shaped Pope Leo XIV's journey to the papacy. 1. Humble beginnings in Chicago. Born on September 14, 1955, the feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, Robert Francis Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV, entered the world in Chicago, Illinois. He was raised in Dalton, a suburb on the city's far south side, in a modest brick home at 212 East 141st Place. His parents, Louis Marius Prevost and Mildred Agnes Martinez Prevost, were devout Catholics who instilled strong faith values in their three sons, Louis, John, and Robert. Louis, a World War II Navy veteran, later served as superintendent of Brookwood School District 167 in Glenwood, Illinois. Mildred, of Spanish descent, was an educator and librarian, working at institutions like von Steuben and Mendel Catholic high schools. She was also deeply involved in parish life, serving as president of the Altar and Rosary Society and singing in the choir at St. Mary of the Assumption Parish. The Prevost family were active members of St. Mary of the Assumption Parish in Riverdale, where Robert attended the parish school. He served as an altar boy and sang in the choir, demonstrating early signs of his religious vocation. From a young age, Robert aspired to the priesthood, often play-acting Mass at home with his brothers, using an ironing board as an altar and Candies as hosts. Neighbors and parishioners recall Robert's deep devotion and maturity. A childhood playmate remembered him as a kind and thoughtful boy, qualities that would later define his pastoral approach. These humble beginnings in a working-class, faith-filled household laid the foundation for Robert's spiritual journey, eventually leading him to the papacy as Pope Leo XIV. 2. Formation and faith, the Augustinian path. From the quiet pews of St. Mary of the Assumption in Riverdale to the revered altars of Rome, Robert Francis Prevost's journey of faith was not just steady, it was deeply intentional. After completing elementary school, he entered the St. Augustine Seminary High School in Holland, Michigan, an institution run by the Order of St. Augustine, known for its rigorous academics and spiritual discipline. It was here that Robert's early devotion began to crystallize into a vocational calling. He was deeply moved by the teachings of St. Augustine, whose emphasis on community, truth-seeking, and love for God would shape the contours of his own pastoral and intellectual journey. His teachers and mentors there recalled a young man quiet but intensely focused, already wrestling with theological questions that others wouldn't encounter until seminary. After high school, Prevost continued with the Augustinians and enrolled at Villanova University, a prestigious Catholic institution outside Philadelphia also run by the order. There, he earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics in 1977, an unusual but revealing choice. For Prevost, math wasn't just about numbers, it was about structure, logic, and clarity, traits that would later define both his theology and leadership. At Villanova, he balanced academic rigor with spiritual growth, regularly attending Mass, participating in service projects, and continuing his discernment of religious life. In pursuit of deeper theological training and priestly formation, he attended the Catholic Theological Union, CTU, in Chicago, one of the most respected theological schools in the country. There, he obtained his Master of Divinity, a vital step toward ordination. Known for his scholarly excellence and compassion, Robert thrived in the multicultural environment of CTU, where he encountered seminarians and theologians from across the globe. This exposure would later inspire his love for missionary work and international ministry. In 1982, after years of rigorous study, prayer, and spiritual formation, Robert Prevost was ordained a priest in the Order of St. Augustine. His ordination was held at St. Clare of Montefalco Church in Chicago, a milestone witnessed by a community that had nurtured his calling from the very beginning. The ceremony was rich with tradition, anointed hands, sacred vows, and joyful hymns, but those who attended say what marked it most was the quiet sense of resolve in Fr. Prevost's eyes. As he stood before the altar that day, vested in white and gold, he wasn't simply entering the priesthood. He was answering a call that had begun in a small suburb of Chicago. a call that would ultimately echo all the way to the throne of St. Peter. 3. Global calling, Peru and the priesthood. In 1985, Robert Francis Prevost embarked on a transformative journey that would define his pastoral mission and spiritual identity. Leaving behind the familiar streets of Chicago, he arrived in Peru as an Augustinian missionary, immersing himself in the rich tapestry of Peruvian culture and faith. His initial years were spent in the dioceses of Chulucanas and Trujillo, where he worked closely with local communities, embracing their traditions and challenges with humility and dedication. Prevost's commitment to the Peruvian people deepened over time, leading to significant roles within the church's hierarchy. In 2014, Pope Francis appointed him as the apostolic administrator of the Diocese of Chiclayo, a coastal city in northern Peru. Recognizing his unwavering service and leadership, he was consecrated as the Bishop of Chiclayo in 2015. To fulfill the requirements of this position, Prevost became a naturalized Peruvian citizen, symbolizing his profound connection to the nation he had come to call home. During his tenure in Chiclayo, Bishop Prevost was known for his pastoral approach that emphasized closeness to the people, particularly the marginalized and vulnerable. He prioritized social programs aimed at combating child malnutrition and was a vocal advocate for the rights of migrants, notably supporting the influx of Venezuelan refugees seeking asylum in Peru. His leadership extended beyond diocesan boundaries. In 2020, he was appointed as the apostolic administrator of Callao, serving until 2021. His experiences in Peru not only enriched his pastoral perspective but also prepared him for higher responsibilities within the global church. In 2023, Pope Francis appointed him as the prefect of the Dicastery for Bishops, entrusting him with the significant task of overseeing the selection and supervision of bishops worldwide. Prevost's decades-long ministry in Peru, marked by compassion, inclusivity, and a deep sense of service, laid a strong foundation for his subsequent roles in the Vatican. His dual citizenship stands as a testament to his unique position as a bridge between cultures, embodying a global perspective that continues to influence his leadership as Pope Leo XIV. 4. Rise in Rome, Canon Law and Curia Credentials. In 1981, Robert Francis Prevost was sent to Rome to study canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, Angelicum. There, he earned a licentiate in canon law in 1984 and a doctorate in 1987. His doctoral thesis, titled The Role of the Local Prior in the Order of St. Augustine, explored leadership within religious communities, reflecting his deep commitment to ecclesiastical governance. During his time in Rome, Prevost was ordained a priest on June 19, 1982, at the Augustinian College of St. Monica by Archbishop Jean Jadet. His ordination coincided with his academic pursuits, demonstrating his dedication to both theological study and pastoral service. Prevost's academic excellence and leadership qualities did not go unnoticed. Over the years, he served the Church under three popes, John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and Francis. Under Pope John Paul II, he was appointed as the Prior General of the Order of St. Augustine in 2001, a position he held for 2 terms until 2013. During this time, he worked closely with Pope Benedict XVI, contributing to the global mission of the Church. Later, under Pope Francis, he was appointed as the prefect of the Dicastery for Bishops in 2023, overseeing the selection of bishops worldwide. Prevost's extensive experience in canon law and his service under multiple pontificates equipped him with a profound understanding of church governance. His rise within the Roman Curia reflects his unwavering commitment to the Church's mission and his ability to navigate complex ecclesiastical structures with wisdom and humility. Pope Leo XIV's election was not just a religious event, it was a global phenomenon that resonated across continents. 1. The firsts that shook the world. The election of Pope Leo XIV marked a series of unprecedented milestones in the history of the Catholic Church. He became the first American-born pope, the first member of the Order of St. Augustine to ascend to the papacy, and the first Villanova University graduate to hold the highest office in the Church. These groundbreaking achievements were met with profound emotion and celebration across the globe. In the United States, Catholics expressed immense pride and joy, viewing his election as a testament to the Church's inclusivity and the recognition of American contributions to the global faith community. In Peru, where Pope Leo XIV had dedicated over 2 decades of his life to missionary work, the news was met with jubilation. In Chiclayo, his former diocese, the clergy and faithful gathered for Thanksgiving Masses, and the bells of the Metropolitan Cathedral of Lima rang in his honor. The Villanova University community experienced a surge of pride and excitement. The campus was abuzz with celebrations, and the university's chapel hosted standing room-only masses to commemorate the occasion. Emma Kennedy, a professor at Villanova, remarked on the collective astonishment and joy felt by students, faculty, and staff alike. Pope Leo XIV election not only shattered historical precedents but also ignited a renewed sense of hope and unity within the Church. His ascent to the papacy was seen as a bridge between cultures and continents, embodying the Church's mission to embrace diversity and foster global solidarity. 2. Viral moments before the conclave. In the days leading up to the 2025 papal conclave, Cardinal Robert Prevost, soon to be Pope Leo XIV, engaged in activities that humanized him to the public and added an unexpected twist to his election story. According to his brother, John Prevost, the night before the conclave, they shared a light-hearted conversation. John recalled, "First we do Wordle, 'cause this is a regular thing, then we do Words with friends," highlighting how they used these games to keep his mind off the impending responsibility. John also inquired if Robert had watched the film Conclave, to which Robert confirmed, having just finished it. John remarked, he knew how to behave, referring to the film's portrayal of the papal election process. This anecdote not only showcases Robert's grounded nature but also added a relatable touch to his character during a time of intense scrutiny. The 2024 film Conclave, starring Ralph Fiennes and Isabella Rossellini, dramatizes the complex and secretive process of electing a new pope. Its realistic depiction was noted by some cardinals, who found it a helpful resource for understanding the intricacies of the conclave. Additionally, theologians and commentators delved into the significance of Robert's choice of the papal name Leo XIV. The name Leo has been associated with popes known for their strong leadership and engagement with the world. Experts like Elizabeth Rain Kincaid from Baylor University noted that the name choice reflects a vision for a church that is grounded in tradition yet open to global dialogue. This decision sparked discussions about the direction Pope Leo XIV might take in addressing modern challenges facing the church. These moments, playing word games with his brother, watching a film about the papal election, and thoughtfully selecting his papal name, paint a picture of a man who, while stepping into a monumental role, remains connected to the everyday aspects of life, offering a refreshing perspective on leadership. 3. Vatican and viral media convergence. Pope Leo XIV election not only marked a historic moment for the Catholic Church but also ignited a viral media phenomenon that captivated audiences worldwide. His unique blend of traditional papal duties and relatable personal interests made him a subject of widespread fascination across social media platforms. One of the most striking aspects of this phenomenon was the juxtaposition of his spiritual role with his personal hobbies. Reports highlighted his enjoyment of playing tennis, a pastime he shares with fans and fellow enthusiasts alike. Images of him engaging in tennis matches, such as his meeting with tennis star Jannik Sinner at the Vatican, circulated widely, presenting a side of the Pope that was both relatable and refreshing. These moments humanized the pontiff, bridging the gap between the sacred and the everyday. Additionally, Pope Leo XIV's multilingual abilities and his fluency in several languages, including English, Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese, and his capacity to read Latin and German, were highlighted in various media outlets. This linguistic prowess not only underscored his global accessibility but also resonated with a diverse international audience, fostering a sense of inclusivity and connection. The convergence of traditional media coverage and the spontaneous creativity of social media users led to a plethora of memes, videos, and posts that celebrated his papacy in a light-hearted manner. These digital expressions ranged from humorous takes on his background to heartfelt tributes, reflecting the public's engagement and the Pope's newfound status as a cultural icon. In essence, the intersection of Vatican traditions and viral media not only amplified Pope Leo XIV's presence but also redefined the way religious figures engage with the global community in the digital age. With great leadership comes great scrutiny. Pope Leo XIV's papacy has not been without its challenges. 1. America in the Vatican? The election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope, has stirred significant discussion within the Catholic Church. Traditionally, the College of Cardinals has been cautious about electing a pope from the United States, fearing that it might lead to perceptions of undue American influence over church policies. This concern stems from the Vatican's long-standing commitment to maintaining its neutrality and independence from national politics. However, Pope Leo XIV's dual citizenship, American and Peruvian, has provided a nuanced perspective. His extensive missionary work in Peru, particularly in the Diocese of Chiclayo, has grounded him deeply in the spiritual and social fabric of South American Catholicism. This experience has allowed him to bridge the gap between the global North and South, embodying a universal approach to the papacy. His papal name, Leo XIV, evokes the legacy of Pope Leo XIII, known for his teachings on social justice, further emphasizing his commitment to global issues over national affiliations. Despite these efforts to present a balanced identity, some critics remain wary. There are concerns that his American background might still influence his approach to global matters, potentially aligning the Vatican too closely with U.S. interests. Additionally, his previous criticisms of certain U.S. policies and his support for social justice causes have sparked debates among traditionalist factions within the Church. These groups question whether his leadership will continue the progressive trajectory set by his predecessor, Pope Francis, or if it will mark a return to more conservative values. In navigating these complex dynamics, Pope Leo XIV faces the challenge of balancing his American heritage with his global pastoral mission. His actions and decisions in the coming years will likely determine how effectively he can unite the Church's diverse constituencies and uphold its universal mission. 2. Augustinian simplicity versus curial complexity. Pope Leo XIV's Augustinian roots emphasize humility, communal living, and a deep commitment to service. These values contrast with the Vatican's intricate bureaucracy, raising questions about how his simplicity will navigate the curia's complexities. His initial decision to delay new appointments within the Roman Curia, opting instead for a period of prayer and reflection, underscores his cautious and contemplative approach to governance. This move reflects a desire to ensure that any changes align with his vision of a church rooted in humility and service. However, this approach has sparked skepticism among some within the Vatican bureaucracy. Critics question whether his relatively short tenure in curial roles and his emphasis on simplicity might hinder his ability to enact necessary reforms. The challenge lies in balancing his Augustinian ideals with the demands of leading a global institution marked by its complex administrative structures. Pope Leo XIV's leadership will be tested as he seeks to harmonize the Augustinian emphasis on interiority and communal discernment with the Vatican's need for effective governance and reform. His ability to navigate this balance will define the trajectory of his papacy. 3. Fading interest or growing foundation. In the weeks following the initial surge of media attention, Pope Leo XIV's public presence has notably diminished, leading to questions about the sustainability of his popularity. While the initial excitement surrounding his election as the first American pope was palpable, the subsequent quietude has sparked discussions about the future trajectory of his papacy. This deliberate silence may be a strategic choice, reflecting a preference for contemplative leadership over constant media engagement. Pope Leo XIV's approach contrasts with the often fast-paced nature of modern media cycles. His limited public appearances and measured statements suggest a focus on spiritual depth and internal church matters rather than external publicity. This method may be intentional, aiming to foster a more profound connection with the faithful and to avoid the pitfalls of transient media attention. However, this strategy raises concerns about the potential for waning public interest. In an era where media saturation can quickly overshadow even significant events, maintaining visibility is crucial. The challenge lies in balancing the need for public engagement with the desire for a more reserved and introspective papacy. As Pope Leo XIV continues to navigate this delicate balance, the Catholic Church and its followers await to see how his leadership will evolve. Will his quietude lead to a deeper, more enduring connection with the global faithful, or will it result in diminished attention and influence? Only time will reveal the long-term impact of his contemplative approach to the papacy. The story of Pope Leo XIV is still unfolding. But what we've seen, in his humility, his intellect, his spiritual fire, points to a man chosen not just by cardinals, but perhaps by God himself for this hour. What might his Augustinian roots bring to the Church? Is he the bridge between continents, cultures, and conflicting ideologies? Comment below with your thoughts or prayers for Pope Leo XIV. Let us know what touched you most, and share this with others who believe history is still being written. Subscribe for more spirit-led stories unfolding in our time.